swag. It's like,
what
nah.
do y'all think about all the rappers that's dying, man? All the young rappers, man, that's dying out here over the past.
You could probably talk about
you could say really over the past couple of decades for real.
See that.
But
I've been doing my research.
But there seem to be a lot of them drug overdoses, violence, and stuff like that. I was doing had just read here recently somewhere, I can't remember what the outlet was, but from the time that hip hop rap music came into mainstream was about 1976, 77 or so. The only deaths for the first 25 years in hip hop was DJ Scott LaRock from KRS from Boogie Down Productions with KRS-One.
Right.
Yeah.
I was a big Boogie Down Productions KRS-One fan, man. I mean, that was hot when I was coming up. And he got shot and killed in New York at a party, DJing. And you really didn't hear, you didn't hear about anybody else like dying in rap music or hip hop music to any violence or definitely any drug overdoses, anything like that. But now, over the last 2 decades, there's someone dying
on a
monthly basis.
So
you know what I'm saying?
They're dying from what they are rapping about.
Yeah, so I think 2 things are at play.
Well, hold on. Let's give somebody else a chance to talk.
No, my bad.
All right.
Look, I'm cool.
All right. What is your thoughts on that, brother?
My thoughts on young rappers that are killing each other, because how crazy it is that it's rappers killing rappers.
Facts.
That's what makes it so crazy. It's other rappers killing rappers, and they're so involved and so entrenched into this gang culture and who's got beef with who and who hangs with who and what they repping. And there's no respect for life, and they're doing a lot of shooting broad daylight, shooting innocent people. MO3, broad daylight, shootout in the middle of the street. And he's with a Grammy Award. He's with a known rapper that's known across the country and loved. He was with Bootsy when this happened.
So what's the beef about?
It's just, they're beef.
What are beefs about?
They're beefing about women. They're beefing about money. They're beefing about gang stuff.
So if they're all successful rappers, and all of them aren't getting shot dead, some of them are, the drugs of choice that they're using, their party favors are ending them up in the cemetery.
Mixing.
You know what I'm saying? So when I was coming up, and I still listen to rap music today, don't get it wrong, I'm hip hop head for life. But we rapped about getting money, man. We rapped about getting money. They rap about getting money now, but just as much as they rap about getting money, they rap about getting high.
Mm-hmm.
They rap about drinking codeine. They rap about popping pills. They rap about mollies. They rap about all that type of stuff. To the point that they done made that fly.
Mm-hmm.
And I never understood how nodding off and scratching and all that stuff was fly. I think the game done got twisted, and I don't know if these drugs is making them, their perspective on stuff be disoriented or whatever, distorted. But between the drugs and this is what they rapping about, and then their lyrics get real the lyrics get real personal a lot of times. And these are just images, a lot of these guys. 90% of them aren't what they rap about. 90% of them aren't what they rap about.
But then you get a lot of them.
You got some that are, but you got some that are just, they got to alter character. They are performers, man. Let's not lose track of that. A lot of cats now that are rapping have came up getting money in the streets, took that money, tried to go a legal way with rap music and stuff like that, being able to listen to it. You know what I'm saying? They got their ear to the street. They know what's going on. They feel like they can rhyme about it. All right, I get that. But some of these cats, all they've seen is the studio. They ain't been out there. They might rap about different guns and stuff that they done acquired. They might rap about different drugs and stuff that they done used, but that don't mean that they done been out there and done put in any work, man, or done been in any type of situations where, you know what I'm saying, they had to fight for their life, you know. But the image that they putting on is making them.
That's what they selling, the image.
But if you look at it, Wag,
I want you to get in. I know you can't wait, but I want you to get in.
I'm good. I've got it.
But if you look at it, Wag, if you look at the Lil Durks and the ones, these different rappers that are out there right now that are hot, like the Morays and these different rappers, the money that's being generated around them, they don't necessarily have to be the one with the bag anymore, but everybody else around them has got the bag. Everybody else around them has got the Dracos and the choppers. So they're still connected to the streets. They're not playing the corporate music world. They're playing the underground music world, selling their own music, making their own videos, putting it on YouTube and wherever else they need to put it at. They got their own platforms, so they don't need anybody else. But a lot of these rappers that are coming out today, that are in the field today, besides it's a couple of them, and the ones that ain't on that and ain't never seen that type of the streets, they tell you, I ain't never did all that, but I got this money stacked like this,
like
and
Drake
I get
will,
your head knocked
you know
out.
what I'm saying? A couple of them other cats will. You know,
I got money like this, and I'll get your head knocked out. So, you know, hey.
I'm going to interject real quick.
Get on in there. I'm
going to interject real quick. Now I'm going to be quiet.
Are you sure you're going to be
Because I got a lot to say, but I'm going to try to say this real quick. Just because collectively, you know, like y'all all my uncles, you know what I mean? Like I see that, respect that, acknowledge that y'all, with the generations that y'all grew up in and the level and the history of rap y'all grew up with. You dig what I'm saying? Like my first album is Craig Mack's Funk the World. You see what I'm saying? And then I come up from there. And then taking that in the piece, I think and I'll shut up after this. The difference in between the young cats that are dying in the streets and overdosing and this and that, there's two things. The first thing is, and somebody said it, I can't remember, but the quote was, we'll say like 90s, 80s rap is the drug dealer rap, right? Like, particularly once we introduced NWA, Tupac, Biggie, that level of hardcore, like these really kind of microscopic looks into some of the nastier parts. You know what I mean? Like the New Jack City, if you will, of rap. Well, white people love that shit. You dig what I'm saying? And then they bought into it and sold it. And you have all this drug dealer rap. The kids that rap now are the children of the people they sold drugs to. That's one. Two, unlike in rap of old, I would say at least up until the J. Cole, Wale, Drake era, you had older rap heads, rap OGs, gods, who then would take under their wing the new kids and be like, hey, don't go do that shit over there. Come do this shit over here. You see what I'm saying? At least to some extent, right? You know, like never mind the whole kind of some of the monetary treachery that's happened maybe within the last 4 or 5 years. But you're saying like Drake was out of Toronto and Wayne found him and they, hey, don't go do that shit you was doing over there. Get off of Degrassi. Come do this. Well, Wale was in DC. Rick Ross went and got Wale. Kanye went and got Big Sean and Kid Cudi and 2 Chainz. You see what I'm saying? Like you know, like Jay-Z went and got Jay Electronica, Cole, and some other people, right? Hey, y'all are dope. I like y'all. I like y'all sound resonates with a lot. Dre went and grabbed Kendrick and Kendrick's entire camp. You dig what I'm saying? And got 50 and 50's camp, you know, and these cats. You dig what I'm saying? You have these these legends, right? These people who knew what it meant to come up in an era where rap was the new toy, right? Teach the younger cats coming up. Well, what happened was all the younger cats coming up didn't teach the people that came after them. You see what I'm saying?
Why not?
I don't know. Now, I don't have an answer for why. All I know is that they didn't. You dig what I'm saying? I think the only 2 people that I can say you can be like, okay, look at their camps. The people coming out of those camps are doing good things. That's Kendrick, and that's the whole TDE camp.
But he's saying why they dying though.
So no, I'm saying the dying pieces. You didn't have somebody come in
rap
and say,
music
don't do that.
Music is the theme of the streets. It's telling you what's going on out here in the streets right now. So that's what they're rapping about. So if drinking syrup and popping mollies and all of that stuff that they consuming and doing is part of the reason to the violence that we've agreed about, right?
Okay.
So is it, I mean, you only rap about what you see. You only rap about what you go through, right? For the most part.
Yeah.
Okay. So is it all related to like the music, the drugs, the killing? I mean,
I think another piece that we're ignoring is.
I mean, I'm just trying to figure out what is the difference between now, because there was drugs back then.
True.
Okay, there was drugs. There was just different.
I'm about
drugs.
to explain it for you.
Although drugs existed. Syrup been around for a long time. They've been drinking drink.
I got you. So, but listen. So new. The difference is between now and then is the machine. Right? There was no machine that powered rap and hip hop back in the day.
But
right?
what's the machine now?
Because it was, hold on, I got you.
Oh.
Because it was underground, right? It was the pulse of the individual cities and the regions. There was no major corporate machine that was like, I have all this money to put into you from wherever the fuck you at. And whatever you got to say is now the sound for an entire region.
You got to trace the growth of rap. That's where you're going to get your answer at.
Yeah, but
all right, look.
Okay, I'm with you.
When rap first started, rap was in infancy. All right, when you look at the 80s, rap is still a child.
Right.
Because of when it came on the scene, still a child.
Okay.
In the 90s, the reason why the 90s was so turbulent, because it's a teenager. Now, when it gets into the 2000s, it's in his 20s. It's in the early 20s, like a human being. So you're still going to have ups and downs, but you think that it kind of got some stuff figured out. Don't think this start making more money. Start making stuff successful. Like you do something in Texas, you do something in Miami, we can see it. Back in the day, we couldn't see it.
Facts. Like
if you were DJ Screw and you sipping lean, and I'm from Ohio, and I'm like, what they doing down there? Nigga, that look cool as fuck.
Facts.
I need to get some of that action. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If you go to Cincinnati right now, nigga, they do just as much serve as anybody in Dallas,
most
Texas.
Def, bro. Most def, and that used to only be a Texas thing,
another
bro.
thing is this: they start letting real street dudes in the game.
Yeah.
Also,
see, back in the day, you can rap about being a street dude, but who's gonna pull your card?
Yeah,
you might get into it with some dudes waiting at your show to try to test you, see if it's really real. Who's gonna really test you for real? For real?
Right.
Understood.
Now it's like, hey, dude, I'm gonna see you.
Yeah.
And so when I see dude, I'm gonna make sure he is what he is.
Yeah, so they got the ones to back them up. They
not only that,
then
it's self-destructive too, because now ask yourself this: would you rather die and be a nobody, or die as a martyr?
Mm-hmm. Well, everybody wants to be a martyr.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So these young guys is like, listen, man, I'm gonna live like this. If I die, so be it. Man. I'm gonna live forever in songs. They're gonna shirts, everything.
Like everybody else.
I mean, right, but also
that's gonna love life like everyone else.
Well, they don't love life because we have as a, and I don't want to say we as black people, but we as let's say a hip hop or a rap culture collectively have not given the younger kids a reason to understand that their life is worth living, right? And that can come from a bunch of different perspectives, and we can talk about that beyond the podcast.
There's a lot of undoing there.
And it is a lot of undoing.
There's a lot to unpack there because it ain't that people ain't telling them what their life is worth. It's just that they've been told for so long or before that what it wasn't worth.
Exactly.
Right. It's some undoing that's required.
Yeah. And what I'm saying is the machine doesn't allow for that unpacking to happen.
But then you have this strong presence here. The social media pressure
to be something that you're not.
To be something or to be a part of is so strong and so overwhelming for this generation here. Doesn't allow them a chance to think. It doesn't allow them a chance to process. It doesn't allow them a chance to comprehend because it's instant. Everything's like this.
Yep.
So everything's live. Pop, 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 pop. So everything's improv. Nothing's thought of. Nothing's processed. Nothing's given any thought to say, okay, should I do that? Should I say that? That's why because they figured out this, I got an edit button. I can go back and edit.
Yup.
I can go back and private. I can do this. I have all these different options instead of the main option that God gave them, the ability to process their own thoughts, whether it be consciously or subconsciously.
Okay, but like King Von, for instance, Dude who used to be tight with.
Nah, I remember.
Okay, what's the guy that used to be tight?
Yeah.
No, the other guy that he got in a fight with.
Quando Rondo.
Okay. Now they've been beefing for a while.
Right.
Okay. Bump into each other at the compound in Atlanta, and y'all know the rest of it happened.
Yeah.
Quando Rondo had a long time to process whether or not take Von's life. That wasn't an instantaneous
But Quando didn't.
process.
No.
Quando didn't take his life, though. It was just.
He doesn't value life. He doesn't value life.
Neither one of them value life.
They from the streets. They from the trap.
Exactly.
And the world that they've now been consumed with, that we then empower with excess amounts of money, tells them that the life that they should be valuing isn't valuable.
They've been doing,
I'm gonna
but they
pump you full of drugs.
like that,
I'm gonna pump you full of money, and I'm gonna keep giving you.
But you know what?
access to money and
Back in the day, none of those dudes would have got a chance to make a record.
No, they
song
wouldn't.
or nothing.
But they
You know what I'm
also
saying? They would
wouldn't.
scare the guys like that.
Right, but they
You know what I'm
also
saying?
wouldn't have been paid.
But they managed to say, you know what? They're self-destructive anyway. If we get them long enough for them to make us some money, we don't care if they kill each other, kill everybody.
But like
you know
I
what I'm
say,
saying?
what's different now? Social media. They being able to process their own money, their own talent.
Yeah.
They don't need any ARs. They don't need any
There's never
companies.
been a time when they paid you so much money to talk about going and killing your buddy.
Bro, for nothing.
Yeah.
For
And so
nothing,
now, and then
bro.
you got to think a lot of
For
these.
nothing. They'll make T-shirts and sweaters out of it. It'll make $1 million in sales overnight.
Brother, go kill that woman.
But these
Go give us
guys,
some dope and fuck up brains out.
but these guys are really strong.
Crazy, man.
These guys that
a
we're
big
talking about,
plan.
these King Vons, these Quando Rondos, these Lil Durks, and the MO3s and the Moray, these different young rappers that are out there that's got a name for themselves. These they have so much marketing ability within their own community because they were already relevant before they even put out a record on YouTube, mainstream YouTube.
Right.
So, like the Little Dirt, stuff like that. I was hearing about this boy 10 years ago, rapping. But they was talking about him being in the streets more than they was talking about him rapping.
Oh, that's right, because he used to run with Keith.
Chief Keef.
Yeah.
So they was talking about him being in the streets, and we knew what was going on in Chicago during that time.
Right, Chirac.
That's not, yeah. So we know what type of environment they come from. The rapping thing is just something that they like to do. It's just like playing video games.
Facts.
You got 1 million rappers now. They stay in the studio, and they got the money to do it. They got the money to go in and say, man, we want the studio all night, man. And they might not do nothing but sit in there and smoke reefer and do what they do.
And
See, they went
But they got the money to do it.
And that's
They
big
got the money
factual.
to do whatever it is that they want to do.
Why
It's
the
just
hell are
they
they
don't-
killing each other?
because they don't know what to do with the money. And when you don't have nothing to do with the money, what you do, you buy guns, jewelry,
You buy everything
and you
about the
put
life
on there,
just claim
and you
that you
and then you go back to the lifestyle.
Getting money don't make you violent, man. I
They
mean,
come
They
from
know-
violence, but they
ain't
come
nobody-
from violence.
But
They
ain't
know exactly
nobody
what to
told
do
them
with
that
that.
Six,
that's
seven-
That's what they doing. They know exactly what
They
to
are
do with that
birth
money.
fighting
right.
over-
But ain't nobody
over
told them that
blocks.
that's not the case.
But
brothers ain't happy,
you got 600-700 murders.
Hugs, man.
You got 600-700 murders a year. I'm talking. Is this constant killing?
And
Check it
why
out.
though?
Some-
Because
some-
over blocks. That's all they're
Right.
doing,
Check
man.
it out.
Everybody's dying over blocks and all of that, man.
Something
That's just
I said
what it
earlier.
is. You know what I'm saying? So
Don't nobody know what's
at
wrong.
the end of the day, with the Chief Keef and the King Von and Quando Rondo and all that, man, most of their stuff, y'all went with hip hop. They go with drill music.
Facts.
So it was all about dissing. I'm gonna diss your dad, homie, your mama, your dad, anybody that died in your family. I'm gonna diss them. So that was just a fun way to them. That was just a big game to them. You know what I'm saying? So those young men are dying over blocks. You know what I'm saying? Something that they never owned.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, so yeah, I would sip lean all day and pop mollies and snort coke when I know that it's a possibility I'm gonna die tomorrow because I done disrespected somebody's people and then I'm living this life.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So
I mean,
it ain't talking about no computer.
but you don't have to disrespect that person's people.
But that's what they grew
ain't
up on, though.
Ain't nobody told you that it's wrong. You don't know what right looks like.
They just don't give a shit.
Yeah, they just don't give a fuck.
And then, I mean, but then also that though.
There it is.
They know it's wrong. They don't give a
Yeah,
fuck.
they just don't give a fuck.
Okay, I
They ain't
get
got no
it.
soul,
Yeah.
man.
High off this drug, and I'm saying
I think that's just the
there's
hope
a couple
for me.
more other drugs is busting in my system right now. And I'm saying, and when they do bust and that pill pop up, fuck y'all.
And what does that destroy? Your conscience.
True. Okay.
So I'm gonna go. I can kill you, Office Molly, Zany Bar, or whatever.
Okay.
and I
Well,
have
okay.
no
Let
conscience
me
on
give you
it.
an example of how I mean. So, Nelly, I'm gonna use these examples. Nelly, T.I., Chameleonaire, Paul Wall. I can't think of old dude's name, so we're not gonna use him. But these 4 people, right? Flip. We'll throw some flips. So T.I., when I first heard of T.I., came out guns blazing. Lil Flip ain't shit. I'll kill this nigga. You see what I'm saying? And then the other old head ATL rappers, right? So all the Goody Mob, Outkast, like Big Rube from Def Poetry Jam. You know what I mean? You had all these other cats and was like, hey, bro, like maybe shut that down. Like maybe don't do that because Atlanta already has got enough on its table trying to keep Atlanta on the map. You dig what I'm saying? And whether or not your careers do something or not, that what the level of beef that you talking usually ends in somebody's death, right?
Well, he almost died too. He got his ass whipped. To the dude, that's how they beef. He went to do
exactly. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
With T.I. Flip.
Yeah.
Chameleonaire and Paul Wall was the same way. And it's super and worse because Paul Wall's white. You know what I mean? Like, bro, don't nobody care about you got grills and you rap, bro. You still a white dude talking real reckless to these black dudes out here in Houston.
And
You dig
why
what I'm
though?
saying? Right. And why? There's no need for that. And Pimp C came down and was like, hey, don't y'all be doing that bullshit. Texas rap already got to do what it needs to, what it has to do. We already got a sound that the rest of the South is already trying to emulate this and the third. Well, the last thing we need is y'all to do that.
It's gonna be more murder, man.
And to bring it back to something I said earlier, here again is instances in which you had old head rappers that were already established that came down and did the same with these younger rappers. What I'm saying is, what these young bucks, because like King Von and them were barely 20, 21, or like Pop Smoke that died off some random BS. You know what I mean? They still kids. They're OGs of rappers that are my age. Drake, Wale, Cole, all these cats, and the cats that are now older than them, who've now ascended to like this grown man rap level, and then don't deal. And you know what I mean? Like you don't have anybody that came down. And I don't know that because like I ain't famous, you know what I mean. But it seems
I still haven't heard the reason for the violence, though, man.
Well, there is no reason for the violence.
The reason is because times are becoming more increasingly violent.
Also, that
you don't even have to confine it to rap. It's just happening these days all over the globe.
That's how arguments are settled.
That's what's going on, man. These are violent times just all over the world. That shit resonates and that shit trickles down into these neighborhoods and.
Yeah.
First of all, killing and violence already been around, bro. And ain't got no. Listen, bro.
Yeah,
let me tell you what got worse with the violence.
Killing millionaires.
People that ain't really about that life, they got to prove they about that life. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. A lot of that's happening too.
Right, because
you know
you
what
got
I'm
a lot of
saying?
them now.
Because ego.
Yeah, ego. You get it?
They had a saying. A guy was telling me, like I say, by me being released from being in prison. When I was in prison during that time of my life, the saying wasn't the guys and the younger guys was that they were coming to prison not because they was trying to get some money or because they was trying to protect themselves from somebody about getting some money. It was about they wanted to have up under their name, up under their belt, that they had smoked somebody. And that was it. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, you mean to tell me a guy was willing to come to prison and do all of these years or whatever else to have these numbers up on his belt? And then you got these guys that's 15, 16 years old with 5 or 6 bodies.
Now we're getting there.
You got these guys that got 5 or 6 bodies.
That's what I'm thinking it's more so
15.
about.
15 killers.
Just for the rep.
Just for the rep.
That's the song they do anything for clout.
The rep.
It's for the rep, man.
The rep. Just like old girl, the little young chick up Chicago, the girl, had all the murders.
Oh, you talking about that was with King Von and them people?
Yeah.
But see, when you want to do something about
she
rap,
got 20, 30 murders on her belt.
So if you're doing it for rep, if you're doing it for a status, and I guess you're doing it for respect, you looked at you're feared or you're respected because you have the ability or the balls to take another person's life. You know what I'm saying? If they wrong you in some type of way, or if they cross you in some type of a way.
Well, we know for sure that people that are known to be killers, people fear them.
Yeah.
Because something like this, they take life. They've known to take life. If a person is known to take life,
being feared, being feared
is being put on a pedestal.
Being feared is the thing.
Being followed.
There's money involved in it.
Money involved. They pay good. You know what I mean?
So what being feared? What you can be by being feared, you can get people to do what you want them to do. Is that the advantage of being feared?
By being feared,
it's
you
a lot.
Escape hunger.
Yeah.
You fear me because you know I'll stick you in
being
the
feared.
ground.
Okay, yeah. So that'll.
You know I'll stick you in the ground.
So
tell me you ain't gonna pay me.
Right. So you can get your money quick. I mean, so what if you don't? I mean, what if it's not like about money? Because it doesn't seem like this stuff is really.
It's about the rap.
Money.
Okay, well let me ask you this then.
With the people that we talking about, it's not about the rap. King Von and Quando Rondo. It's not about
not
the
just
rap.
them in particular. Them ain't the only people. Yeah, them, I'm not just isolating talking
so you
about
gotta kinda like,
them people right there.
You gotta.
I'm talking about the last 25 years.
Oh, okay.
So
last 25 years, y'all got that.
Okay, so we still on rappers. I thought we moved beyond rappers. I don't know what.
I'm gonna join you on that. Well, hold on. Let me ask this one. But I'm gonna join you on this. As the grown men that y'all are, as the OGs that y'all are, my uncles, is there not? Because if I'm trying to understand what you're saying with the excessive violence, which usually doesn't seem to have been predicated on anything else. Is there nothing somebody can say verbally or do that then your immediate or not immediate reaction, or that your only reaction to it is violence? Is there nothing that somebody can do or say to you now that requires the response of violence that could potentially end somebody's life?
If you a POE,
say something someone can say.
Yeah. I'm just asking, just to...
when you're talking about killing somebody, it has to be about action.
Okay.
Or the imminent threat of it.
Okay. Which could be a verbal thing.
The imminent threat of it. The imminent threat has to be more often than not.
Yeah.
Because you said say, so I was still on the verbal thing.
Yeah, I got you.
Anything short of that, I don't want to just knock you off if that's what it had to come to.
So
okay, understood.
I would like to pose a question, man. I've been thinking about this, and I think this is really good situation, man. And I've been wanting to get some feedback on it from some guys. I think I got a good panel of guys that can give me some good feedback on it as well. But the question I have is that since Georgia's got flipped, we flipped the Senate. Now we have the presidency, and we have the Senate, and we have the House. We have control. We have complete control all the way across the board. Hasn't happened. I don't remember that ever happening.
Yeah, I don't know what time.
Where we control all of the government.
In the Barack's administration.
So even with Barack's administration, we didn't control the board.
You controlled everything.
No, we didn't control Congress.
2 years. Listen, for the first 2 years.
He didn't have
Barack had the whole. Yes, he did. That's how he pushed Obamacare through. And then the midterms came, and the Republicans ushered in all of their candidates. I'm telling you, man, the first 2 years of the Obama administration was all across the board.
Right.
All three branches of the judicial, the administration, the executive, and the goddamn Congress, the legislation.
So the question is that, okay, with all of that being said, is the black community going to drop the ball now that they see that their voice counts, and now that they see what they can do?
Man, they on Obama's ass right now.
So what are they going to?
Biden's ass right now. They on it right now.
Same thing.
What's going to be?
Life.
What is the black community going to do now that the ball's in our court?
Criminal justice reform right away.
I feel like I'm having deja vu.
Right away.
Absolutely. Criminal justice reform.
Right away. They're going to push
the punishment that they're passing up, man, for some of these crimes doesn't even fit the crime, man. They need to reform the whole system.
What can they do in that area?
Well, they can let some people out. They can definitely not send all these people to prison for small violations. It's parole violations, for minor infractions like
non-violent criminals.
Curfew violations or not having a job in the right amount of time or something like that. I mean, they just need to come up with another.
You think the Democrats gonna do it? You think it?
I'm with you on thinking that they're not going to do that.
Listen,
so the last thing
that gave out to prisoners come from Democrats, bro.
Right. So the last thing the Democrats are going to do is let a bunch of people out of jail.
You probably speaking about when Clinton was in office and they
passed the crime bill.
They passed the crime bill.
Yeah.
They got a lot of people, a lot of young black men, a lot of time for cocaine and stuff like that. Even and the 3 strikes outlaw, and I mean. So but
in the Reagan era too.
I've also heard though, it was supposed to be a deterrent. You know what I'm saying? Let them say it. It's supposed to be a deterrent. If you get the 3 strikes, you going to prison for life for whatever the felony is, for whatever the crime is. Was supposed to be a deterrent to once you got to 2, you stopped. If you kind of know what the case is gonna be, if you know it's gonna be 3 strikes and you got 2 strikes. Then you can't swing and miss no more.
What's the flip side of it, though?
The flip side is people that had were drug offenders and stuff like that, man, that get caught with a gram of crack cocaine or something like that, was going to prison for life. Or running up in a store for some shoplifting to support a drug habit or something like that, was going to prison for life. It didn't work out right. I fully understand that. But hopefully the Democrats see that because it didn't work out in the 90s, that they have switched some stuff up. And, Biden's talking, he sounds like he's talking right. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we got Kamala in there. I'm hoping we got control of the House and the Senate. We'll at least give it a chance. I don't want to just.
We'll
at least give it a chance. I mean, we've had 4 years of, and it doesn't have to do with criminal justice, but we've had 4 years of chaos, man.
So JB and Kamala talk a good game.
It's a business, though.
I think
it's a business. That prison systems and stuff it's a business. A lot of rural people are employed out there in those little country little areas. If you got 1,500 employees, 800, 1,200 employees, that's like their UPS, their Ford, their GE or whatever. So
I think to just be realistic about it, man, I think the first 2 years of a Biden Kamala full Democratic ran situation, all of their focus is going to be about stimulating the economy, getting this vaccine and stuff under control.
And they can do more.
And pandemic. No, they can do more, but I think that
they have to do more.
Primarily they'll do that. Now, as far as reform goes, I don't see a lot of reform in the form of letting people out, like drug dealers for like, or nonviolent and jazz like that. It's particularly all the black and brown people that were locked up for selling like weed, and now weed's legal. I don't see a lot of that happening for a multitude of reasons. One, if they don't put programs in place that then allow these people to be recidivized, and you then also don't allow these people to come into a market. You don't give them that option to come into a market that makes money, in which you sent them to jail for. If those programs aren't set up, then letting them out of jail sets them up for failure for you to send them right back to jail again.
There's plenty of programs
doing something
set
else.
Up. They just have to not lock them up for what they locked them up for the first time, and decriminalize that stupid ass law most often not in grass.
Okay.
So that'll be a big factor. But yeah, they might let a few people out. I think that decriminalized weed, which eases the federal system up just a little bit.
Just a little bit.